As we like to say in the Office for Study Abroad, you can't forget about the study and study abroad. Since culture truly impacts all facets of life, you will likely experience differences in academic culture as well while abroad. Given the importance of the academic side of this experience, you'll want to set aside ample time to prepare yourself now for these potential differences and challenges. No matter what program you're choosing, provided program exchange or GW study program, you should not expect the academic structure or culture to be the exact same as it is here in the US or at GW. While some may have more similarities than others, it will be helpful to go into this experience with the expectation that there will likely be some differences between the academic culture on your program abroad and the culture here at GW. To better understand how similar or different it may be on your program, you should research your program and host country. Think about where you'll be taking classes and whether it will be at an institute or facility with other U.S. students, or if it will be at a local university integrated with local students or other international students. Who will be teaching your classes? Will it be American professors or local professors and experts? The answers to these questions will help inform you on what to expect. If your program is more immersive, make sure to research the learning styles and academic structures that are common or typical in your host country. Another necessary part of your research should be aimed at understanding credit conversions. Many other countries do not use the U.S. credit system, and the credit values you see designated on their course listings or syllabi may not be what you end up transferring back to GW. On Provider Program, your provider will most likely handle any credit conversions for courses taken at their partner institutions. For GW exchanges and GW study programs, check in with your advisor or the GW study programs team for information on credit conversions for your program. A common example is the European Credit Transfer System, ECTS, which converts to US or GW credits using a 2-to-1 ratio. Along the same vein as credits, make sure to also research and understand your program/host institution's grading system, which may also differ from the US. You should also be researching what you might expect academically in your host country. One common example that is often new to our students is that many countries follow more of a lecture-based style with more expectations for independent learning. This is quite different from the US and GW style of collaborative or discussion-based learning with a lot of student engagement and interaction. Professors in many other countries often spend significant class time lecturing and then expect students to engage in independent learning outside of class. This often leads to less assignments throughout the semester and a larger focus on one culminating assignment, test, or paper at the end of the semester. Study abroad students often fall victim to the pitfalls of poor time management because of this structure. Remember, just because you may not have weekly assignments doesn't mean you can neglect that class. You should be managing your time and scheduling in study opportunities so as to not be overwhelmed at the end of the semester. Don't forget also that minimal assignments means that there are very few factors that go into calculating your grade, and each assignment is worth a significant amount.
Hi, I'm Alice and I'm currently attending King's College London. Come check out a glimpse into how the academic side of my study abroad experience looks. So in England and the UK, many classes are known as modules, and we follow each of our modules through their curated timetables. Then, like GW's Blackboard, KCL has Keats, where you can find all of your courses, reminders from your tutors, as well as cool features such as FAQ sections, where students can ask general questions or more specific questions that other students would benefit from, and we can all view the questions and answers. I go to lectures as well as seminars and tutorials, what we would call discussions, each week. For assignments, KCL as well as many UK universities are set up so that there's one final essay, multiple choice exam, and or a presentation at the end of the semester. However, prior to that final graded assignment, depending on the module, there are ungraded check-ins that you can complete, as well as some modules have a mandatory ungraded essay due mid to late end of the semester in order that you can get feedback before the exam period. It is a system that definitely requires you to independently structure your learning and schedule in order to complete readings and give yourself enough time to review. It has been a unique experience so far, and I hope that you are intrigued to also be able to come and integrate yourself in the UK system.
Another common difference that many study abroad students experience academically is that in many countries around the world, professors are often not as accessible to their students as they are in the US. They may not hold office hours or may be less responsive via email. This falls in line with the expectation for students to be a bit more independent. Students should also be prepared for potential dress code differences. In some countries, given that higher education is preparation for the workforce, stricter dress codes may be enforced that prohibit things like sweats or athleisure. This will most likely only be the case if you're studying at a local university rather than with a provider.
Fashion has always been an integral part of my identity, but since coming to Morocco, a lot has had to change. Hi, I'm Zoe, and I'm studying abroad in Morocco. As a Muslim country, modest clothing is the standard, and my program advised me before coming that I would need to always cover my collarbone, shoulders, and elbows in order to not only respect the culture, but avoid harassment. While I took this very seriously, I was still surprised by the effects wearing different clothing had on my experience in public. Catcalling is a known issue in Morocco, and the difference in treatment when I was wearing a t-shirt versus a long-sleeve shirt was very noticeable. Getting stared at in public while wearing more revealing clothing is not only uncomfortable, but it can also be dangerous, with the potential for being yelled at, touched, or even followed. So how does one dress modestly when being so used to having the freedom to wear whatever one wants? For me, the first step was incorporating elements I already liked in my daily wear and finding ways to make them more modest. For example, I have a t-shirt and a skirt I usually like to wear together, so I found a cardigan to wear on top and tights to wear underneath. Shorts and skirts are unfortunately off limits, but low-cut tops can be solved by a camisole or turtleneck underneath, and I can still wear crop shirts with high-waisted pants. While the tradition in clothing has been frustrating at times, I prefer to view my time in Morocco as a fashion challenge. How can I still be fashionable without using my body as an accessory? It's a way to push boundaries and my own perception of what's fashionable whilst being respectful of the culture I am now living within. By accommodating my taste for safety and respect, I'm also pushing past my own boundaries and how I perceive what those around me wear, which is not only making me more culturally conscious, but is giving me an entirely new perspective on something I've always cherished.
And again, this may not be the case on all programs, it may not be the case on yours, but it's important to do research in advance and ask questions where you need clarification in order to prepare. It is also very helpful to seek out campus or on-site resources early, such as tutors, writing centers, disability support services, etc. These services may vary greatly from what is offered in the U.S., but may still be available in some capacity and will be good to connect with early on in your time abroad. Your time abroad will be filled with highs and lows. The more prepared you are, the more equipped you'll be to navigate transition into your new home and school for the semester. Additionally, on the topic of academics, we strongly encourage you to rewatch Part 3 of Study Abroad 101 for a refresher on the GW Course Approval Transfer System, CATS, and the transfer credit process to help ensure you have one less thing to worry about.